Yes, very good morning, everyone, again, and a very, very warm welcome to our SynergySphere session. It genuinely feels wonderful to say this after a while. Thank you for taking time to join us today to interact, to learn, and to network with your classmates, with your peers here at MIT SDE. I see very familiar, quite a few familiar names as well, and some new ones, and that's exactly what SynergySphere platform is all about, right? Bringing together a diverse group of learners. I am Trupti Kulkarni, and I am heading MOCS, the Learner Development Platform at MIT SDE. But today, my role is simple yet close to my heart, to create spaces where learning feels collaborative, where all of you, all the students of MIT SD, learn from each other. You all are working professionals, right? And where real experiences from your working experiences count as much as the textbook theory, right? So let me take a moment to share what SynergySphere is all about. At MIT SDE, most of our learners are working professionals, as I mentioned before, and you are already juggling a lot of roles, teams, maybe even your clients if you are, entrepreneurs and businesses while studying. So SynergySphere was actually created on this strong belief that some of the best knowledge already exists within our classrooms, within our students, within our learners. Right. So this platform is all about students sharing their knowledge, their domain knowledge, become learners becoming speakers, peers learning from each other, and most importantly, real life journeys, not only textbook theories. So today's session is a perfect example of that philosophy. Bringing on to today's speaker. So today's speaker is someone who is right there in the mix with you, Mr. Rohan Deshmukh. He is a PGDM student at MIT SDE. Rohan brings with him over 24 years of experience in IT, having held leadership roles across companies like Microsoft, Wipro, Emphasis, and Capita. He is managed $20 billion plus portfolios, global teams, across various continents, and maintain 99.9 uptime for mission critical systems. That's but what really makes today's session truly special is that Rohan is here not only as a seasoned executive that he is, but also as your fellow classmate, your fellow learner, right? So sharing his journey with all of you. So instead of me giving you a lengthy, introduction about him, let's dive right in. Rohan, I'll start with a few questions. And to the
Sure.
participants, I encourage you to not just listen to all of this session just for answers, but for reflections that you might also relate to later on. Right. So welcome, first of all, Rohan, to this session,
Thank you.
to
Thank
Synergy
you.
Sphere.
Thank you. Thank
Any
you
any
everyone for
words you would
joining.
like to share with our learners before we start our questions to you?
Sure. Thank you, Trupti, first of all, for the opportunity, and thank you everyone for joining the session on a weekend. Really means a lot that people really take time out to learn and network with our fellow students. So, thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Rohan, for the words to your address to your learners, to your fellow classmates, right?
Yeah.
So, Rohan, with over 2 decades, more than 2 decades of experience in global IT service delivery at companies like Microsoft, Wipro, Emphasis, and Capita that I just mentioned, you've witnessed multiple technology cycles and leadership challenges, right? So, looking back, could you share one or two pivotal moments or decisions that helped you shape your approach to leadership and maybe even service delivery over the years?
Sure. Look, it's been a long career, and there have been many more moments, right? And I'm sure the audience will probably relate to what I'm saying. I'm sure everybody's having different experiences that they would like to share. At the moment, I could think of switching two roles basically. One is switching from an individual contributor to the leadership role. Yeah,
Hmm.
as an individual contributor, you are focused on your own, own perfection, the way you work, the way you solve problems. I think the pivotal change was to take up a leadership role, and then expecting similar kind of passion from everybody in the team, right? But that's not always possible. You need to work with them, you need to coax them and guide them basically based on their
Correct.
experience, to really align with the team's objectives, and that is a different ball game altogether, right? And that is something you learn. Obviously, leadership is a skill. Once you become a leader, you the continuous learning always happens, even as an IC, even as a leadership team, something that you really need to put into an effort on, right? So that was one pivotal thing. The other was moving into service delivery roles, more challenging service delivery roles. So I think the one key thing, or the pivotal change in my approach to service delivery was more of communication, understanding stakeholders. Yeah, stakeholder management
Hmm.
is a very key and very important thing in service delivery. No matter what the technical issue is, yeah, technical issues get resolved one way or the other. But the way you communicate with internal and external stakeholders, I think that makes all the difference.
Correct. That's a powerful insight, Rohan. I'm sure many of the learners here can already relate to those points that you have just mentioned in your like leadership and employability journey so far. So currently you are pursuing a PG diploma with MITSD in IT management, right?
Right.
All while holding a demanding leadership role that you were holding since a long time. So, how
Yeah.
has your learning journey been so far with MITSD? How do you uh, see the blend of theory with any practical application that you would, have for like especially for you, especially in a distance learning format?
Sure. I mean, the course has been really helpful, and has been the experience has been very positive. Yeah, because primarily, as you said, it's more for the working professionals, and it gives us the bandwidth to be flexible enough to manage both. So that's the key thing, and that's why people actually join such courses, right? But the key thing, what I understand and what I've seen over the last 2 semesters is the content is more practical. It's not only theory, and it's not only bookish. It's more practical. It is something that we can implement immediately. Finance management, for example, right? It's probably not the strongest for most of the folks who's probably from a finance background, right? So that is something that is good to learn. It's like the best of the tutors are available to coach you for that, right? The recordings are available. You can attend the live sessions as well when you're not clear about those doubts. So the recordings are good enough as well, right? So that is the experience has been positive, especially for me to look into finance management and other things. So, and practical day to day, implementation that you can really do in your day.
Correct. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on your experience with MIT SD.
Sure.
And for those listening, this is exactly why Synergy Sphere also matters. Your classmate today could be your inspiration tomorrow, right? So, this brings us to the next question. So, throughout your career, Rohan, you have led high stakes projects, managing large portfolios, maybe even complex stakeholders for that matter.
Yeah.
Any challenging project or moment that you would like to mention over here that things didn't go as planned, or and what did that teach you, most importantly?
Yeah, sure. I can think of a project where there was a complex issue, but there were lot of people putting their head to try and solve the problem, right? And that is also an issue sometimes. Yeah, just too many heads trying to put in their inputs without understanding what actually is the output required. Yeah, just random. If you involve just too many people who are not really directly related to that particular issue, they are not direct stakeholders, that could probably just be acting as a hindrance. Yeah. My learning really was very simple: is to limit people on whom you involve, right? Just involve limited stakeholders, key stakeholders. The others can be informed. Yeah. You want someone to test, you can go and ask someone to test, but don't get them on the call. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that will be just adding to a chaos, right? And this is very typical, it's just not just one scenario. This is probably everyday scenario. Someone who's probably knows what manager does in a major incident management, right?
Right.
In an ITL process, for example, you just don't get everybody on the call. Just an example, just keep your core team together, work through the problem, solve it. And that has been my key learning, not only in a major incident management, but also in any critical situation. Just don't get too many people involved.
That's a valuable advice, Rohan. So thank you actually for your honesty and valuable feedback. So listening to your journey, one thing that really stands out is endurance.
Yeah,
It's keeping relevant in the ever fast changing world, right?
yeah,
And that brings us perfectly to today's topic, which
sure.
is running the IT marathon,
Yeah,
building career endurance in a fast changing world. So, yes, learners, this session won't be only about IT careers that the topic mentions. It'll cover how you stay relevant, resilient, and mentally sound across 30 to 40-year career, no matter your field. So, Rohan, we are really, really looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Over to you.
thank you. Hello everyone again, right? Thank you again, Trupti, MIT, to give me this opportunity. Um, and yeah, so I really want to have this session being more interactive. Yeah. I think the more you interact, the fun it will be, really understanding how we progress on this. So, yeah, Trupti has kindly given my introduction already. Just to reiterate, yeah, I've got about 24 years of experience in service delivery management. Worked with major organizations like Microsoft, Capita, Wipro, Emphasis, etc. Look at service delivery, 99.9% uptime, so SLA adherence, and customer satisfaction primarily using innovative solutions and collaboration, right? So I've worked with people across the globe, basically, Europe, US, UK, Africa, for that matter. So that's been a long, rewarding journey, and that is something that really look at. How we can learn from each other. Obviously, I'm a learner, a co-learner with you guys. So looking forward to interact with you guys and learn from each other's experience. And I'm just going to share my experience. Right? I'm not here to give any gyan. I'm just learning from not only from my experience but experience with from people around me. I think that is very important as well. You learn from people around you who you work with day in day out, right? So, and I have met and worked with a lot of people over the last 24 years. Yeah. So we've got the slides coming up. I think Swatik is sharing it, and it should come up in a minute, right? So thank you again, everyone, for joining this session. Yeah. So let's move to the next slide. I've introduced myself. So what is the session that we're looking at? And as Trupti mentioned, careers. Of course, the careers that everyone in this group might be having different, might be in a different stage of their career. Somebody might be starting off. Somebody might be having 15 years, 10 years experience, and maybe more. Yeah, maybe somebody is more experienced than me. Yeah, maybe more than 24 years. Yeah, so it's a great, I think it's a combination of all of us, and we need to learn from each other, right? And we all know that technology changes over a period of time. So I remember when I started off with Windows NT servers, and where are we right now? I mean, 2016, or Windows servers, AI is something that I've seen a gamut, and I'm sure most of you have as well, right? So the skills that we learn, right? I mean, skills become absolute within 3 to 5 years. Every now and then, skills changing. I mean, we're still learning about AI and agentic AI and whatnot is something already up there. It's being used every day, day in day out in your organizations, right? So that is a space at which skill and technology changes, right? So how do we remain relevant within this journey, right? There's a term that I found out is techno stress. Yeah, there's a constant stress of learning new technology, right? Just to being updated yourselves with new technology, and there is no escape, right? And there is some stress associated with that, right? So that is something that we need to really look at how we deal with, right? How we elongate our career, how do we deal that with that stress is something that let's try and explore it together. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide and see how we can do that, right? And like I said, why the title, it's a marathon thing, right? It's a journey. 30-40 years is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I am personally very passionate about running. Yeah, and I'm a marathoner. I've completed 5 full marathons and one Ironman 70.3. So, yeah, I would like to know within the audience, does anyone run or just type, type in the chat box if you run. Say I run or something. Proper running. It need not be a full marathon. Yeah, you could type in run if you really run, even every day, every alternate day, 3 times a week or something like that. Go ahead and type in the chat, run. Yeah. Let's see who all are running, or avid runners, or Oh, great, Lalit. That's nice to hear. And there is another reason why the topic is also really in the thing, really, because next Sunday there's this Tata Mumbai Marathon coming up. Yeah, great Bhuvan. I mean, you play MMA, which is amazing. Yeah? So Tata Mumbai Marathon really happens on third Sunday every January, right? And this will be my fifth Tata Mumbai Marathon this year, right? So, and the full 42.2 kilometers. So I'm absolutely passionate about running, and I'm also passionate about drawing parallels between both both the marathon journey as well as my career, right? So I've been running for about 7 to 8 years. Yeah. And that is something that keeps me really going. It helped me during the COVID period, the lows, the highs, and that is what we experience in our IT career as well, right? So let's try and balance and see how what we can learn from both these, from a professional life as well as our passion. Is something that really look at is something that I love to compare and talk about. Yeah. Great, Mohit. You've been running corporate since 25 years, and that's. Oh, you mean only running only corporate in since 25 years? No, you should definitely look and try and looking at getting other physical activities. Yeah. So that is something that you can do that. I'm great. I love to see that there are a few fellow runners here, which is amazing. Yeah, let's move on to the next slide. So yeah, we've got a poll here, which should come up in a minute. And where do you think you are in your career, right? I mean, let's try and figure out where do you are in your career. Are you really sprinting? You think you are really going fast, or you've been quite stable in your career? You're steady. Are you frustrated? Yeah, hitting the wall is basically a stage in a marathon running where you think, oh, why did I just sign this up? I wish I had not signed this up. Yeah. I just hit the wall. That usually typically comes at 30-32 kilometers, where you think, oh, I had enough. Yeah. That is something that you really, that's where you are. Or are you injured? Injury is part of a sportsman's life, right? Even if you're not a professional, you can twist your leg or something like that, and you become injured. So or in a corporate world, you probably facing redundancy, you're probably facing some other issues, or you are really burned out, is something that let's have a look at, right? So great, 43% of you have participated, and yeah, I see a good number of people running a steady marathon. Let's give another few minutes and see the participation is really increasing. Great. We would really encourage you guys to participate and figure out. Ask that question to yourself. I mean, there is no judgment here. I mean, we are all we are all really on the same boat in the IT journey, right? Nobody's going to judge you. We're just going to try and help each other. Yeah. So great number of participation in the poll. Yeah, it's increasing. That's great. That's great. Think over it. Think over it. You're sprinting. You're running. You're really fast. Nobody's going to stop you. Um, are you running a steady marathon? You're just going on steady. You know what you're doing. Your career is going great, or you're hitting the wall. You had enough of this. It could be in your career, it could be in your organization. There are challenges, people are troubling you, your boss is not great, or you're really burnt out. You had enough. I'm working really hard, and yeah, I don't know what to do next. Yeah, or really, you really need a break. Yeah, great. I think. Uh, that's great. So the results really is, yeah. Lot of you, 43% are running a steady marathon, which is great, but there are 26% of the audience which have really hit the wall, yeah, and 13% are injured. Yeah. So let's try and figure out how what we can do, and for those who are sprinting, great, amazing. Yeah. Let's see how you can extend this run, this sprint of yours. You wanna how long are you going to do sprinting, or what are the things that you can do to do that, continue to doing that in your career, because it's a long career. It's not something that is going to end in 5 years or 10 years. We're gonna work for a long time, right? Great. Thanks for everyone who participated in this. Let's move on to the next slide. Let me see. Close this. All right, great. So, like I said, sprint. We have a sprint mindset and marathon mindset, right? So, and I'm not here to judge about whether what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to share my experience. Sprinting is great. I mean, quick wins, short-term motivation. But yes, there is something called as burnout as well. You just gave all of what you have in that sprint. Yeah. Whereas marathon mindset is something that, it's a long-term thing. Like I said, we've been talking about the careers are really long, right? Not necessarily in IT, but in every field, right? You don't work for 5 to 10 years, or you don't look at. Of course, you can move on from one field to another field, follow your passion. But even when you're doing something that you are passionate about, right? You really need to keep reinventing yourself so that you can really elongate that career as well, because there is going to be competition anywhere, right? That is where your discipline is going to help. I think that is more important. That is something that we should look at as well, in terms of how we can really elongate our careers using the marathon mindset and not just run behind quick wins. Yeah, quick wins are great if you can balance both of them. I think that would be amazing, right? And that is something that we should all be looking at really. I think let's move on to the next slide. Right. So the IT career gap. I mean, when you start off, the career phases, right? When you start off, you're experimenting, you're overtraining. You look at growth, how fast you can grow, especially these days, Gen Zs and others really looking at how fast, what can we learn more. I think that is something more focus, and obviously that is not wrong. That is something that is amazing and something that we can really learn from each other. Yeah, but there will be stages in your career when you really experience burnout, right? I think there's a survey thing that I put in there, right, where it is found out in industry surveys, right, about that 60% of technology professionals really experience burnouts at least once in their career, and which is normal, right? I mean, you have had careers for about 30 to 40 years, and you will definitely feel burned out, once or twice in your career, right? And that what do you do at that moment, I think really matters, right? Personally, okay, are you not able to hear me, Shonal? I'm not sure why you're not able to hear me. Others are able to hear me fine. You can mention, you can probably write in yes. Okay, great, Shashank. I'm sorry, Shonal, you're not able to hear me. You probably try to reconnect again. And of course, there will be recordings available, I'm told. Please try and connect again. So let's moving on. I thank you for all the confirmation, guys. Thanks for being so participative. Um, Yes, so everybody hits the wall. I have hit the wall myself, right? There was a time when I wasn't doing great in my career, and I really hit the wall. And I'm like, why did I sign up, right? And it could happen at any stage of my career. When I started off, really, in one of the organizations, I was really overworked. Yeah, I had a boss who was completely opposite of me as a personality. He was hyperactive, right? He wanted to get things done immediately, right? I'll just share an example. I used to stay the nearest to office of all my colleagues. Yeah, it's a good thing as well as a bad thing. If there were any problem in office, I was the first one who was to called at that moment. And there were no mobiles then. They used to call up on my landline and ask me to go to office on a weekend and fix whatever the issue is. Even if I didn't know the technology, they said, "Oh, just reach office. We will guide you what to do." And this happened for quite some time, right? And I was really frustrated. And I was like, I was an inexperienced guy. I was new to work, new to corporate life, young. I wanted to enjoy my weekends, but yeah, this scenario really, I really got over. I was overworked and got me frustrated. So that's my burnout moment. Yeah, I still remember that because that was not a great chapter in my life, right? And I'm sure everybody's got some or the other, phases of life that you faced. I'm sure you did, right? So how do we plan around that, and what did I do basically to plan around that, and let's see how let's together look at ways in terms of what are the things that we can do to avoid such scenarios, or not to avoid work, right? Obviously we all work, and we're all passionate about it, and that's why we've had so long careers, right? But it's more about being smart, focusing on what's required. And let's try and look at things in the next slide. Yeah. So what are the lessons that that we can take in terms of from what we have experienced within our careers, right? I think it is important right now, everyone, to be on the call, to take a pause and think about what worked well for you guys, right? From a running perspective, for all those who run, that you mentioned, right? I don't feel motivated to get out of every day and run, right? Even if you are working out, you go to the gym, you go to some yoga classes or whatever physical activities you do, you don't feel motivated to do it every day, right? But you got to train, yeah, and yeah, and you need to really put in that effort every day, right? I'm based in Pune. It gets quite cold these days in Pune, right? It gets difficult to get out of the bed. But then the same thing happens in rainy season, right? It's pouring outside. It gets difficult to get out. And I think you think why do you really have to run in the rains, right? So, but when you have signed up for something, I think it is important to really really be disciplined. Yeah, I think that is something that you learn from the marathon, or any sport for that matter, right? In an IT career like ours for a long time, I think it is very important to upskill ourselves, right? So I think what are the things that you guys do for upskilling? I think new technology is something that you guys learn about, right? Learning before you're forced to run, right? Do you wait for your managers to tell you, please look at this new technology that you need to really learn, right? So these are things that we need to really look at in terms of what we can do to really stay in the market, stay upgraded. Yeah. Nikhil, I'll try and talk some bit in Hindi as well, right? But what do you guys agree with me? I mean, discipline beats motivation every single day. If you agree with me, please type D in the chat box, right? Or do you have any other comments? Or you can, yeah, show your thumbs up. Yeah. I think discipline is something really takes us the long way. Yeah, any sport, any activity that you do, I think that beats motivation every other day. I don't feel like going to office every other day, right? Before COVID, now at least there is hybrid model of working. I hope there is for most of us, right? But yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? That's something that beats motivation every other day, right? Thank you guys, Mohini, Dave, Bhushan, thanks for agreeing. So let's move on to next slide. What else can we do other than being disciplined? Pace. I think the most common mistake is something that we do is chase every skill. How many of you have really taken up any other learning, any learning, for them, only because your peer has done? Yeah, type me in the chat box. Yeah, you've taken up learning or taking a certification only because your peer has done. Yeah, type me in the chat box. No, no shame in acknowledging it. Yeah, uh, was it might not have been relevant, but you did it only because someone else did it. Yeah, who else did that? Bhuvan, excellent. I mean, being very honest. Yeah. Was it might not have been required, but we still did it. Yeah, great guys. That's something that great. But do we really need to do every hot skill? I think there is something that you really need to look at, uh, finding your niche technology, your niche skill, working on. Yes, it is great to have level 100 knowledge of multiple skills, but it is also important to have a niche technology. Just be an expert on one deep expertise on one technology. I'm not saying just focus on one technology, which is wrong. Yeah. um, you really need to look at other technologies as well, but there is one technology that you really need to have a deep technical knowledge of, and just don't do it because someone else is doing it. Yes, great. If you think that certificate is going to help you in your in your other aspects, or is going to support you within your current role, just don't blindly follow people. That is what I'm saying. Yeah, not because everybody is doing it. Don't chase anything and everything. Yeah, that is something that, because that will burn you out, is my experience. Yeah, No right, no wrong. Bhuvan, you're perfectly right. Learning is always a part of life. But what we require in a long term, what we require in the short term, is that going to really help us immediately, or is it going to help us in the long term? Is something that we need to evaluate. Ask questions to yourselves. If you think great, yes, you should go ahead and really pursue that certification, right? Don't compare yourselves or your careers with others. Yeah, I started off with a lot of my folks in when I joined Microsoft, right? I started off. There are a few guys who I started off with. Yeah, but I realized that our journeys are totally different. I had to leave Microsoft and move back to my hometown due to my personal reasons. Yeah, there were others who did that as well. There are others who stayed back in Microsoft and are doing amazingly well. I mean, they are probably in the US, they are leading great teams, they are probably directors and so on and so forth within Microsoft, right? But I cannot compare my timeline with them. Yeah, because our journeys are totally different. I cannot be sitting here and sulking about what could have been. Yeah, because that is not going to help me. I am going to learn and try and improve myself day in, day out. Whether I am happy or not right now, that is the question. I cannot sit and sulk, oh, my friend, I started with Microsoft with him, and look where he is now. Yeah, but I don't know what challenges he is facing. Yeah? He's probably away from his family, he's away from his parents, or could be various different things. I'm sure you guys are relating with me, right? Everybody, you might have had friends, college friends, for example. Some guys succeed early, some guys succeed late, right? Everybody's got their own journey. I think. I think that is something that you should be really be careful about. There is no point sulking. There is no point comparing yourselves with others, right? And in course of doing that, you really work extra hard. Yeah, right, and put in more effort every day, every single day, because that is going to burn you out. All right, I'm not saying that you need not put in effort. I'm saying overwork. I'm sure everybody is mature enough here to understand the difference between this, between what I'm and understanding what I'm trying to say. It's not about put in an extra hour unnecessarily every day, right? Yes, if you are, there will be phases in life, and there was time I have stayed back in work, I have stayed back in office, but that was required at that moment, right? It's not every day that you have to stay back, right? There will be phases. There are projects, there are deadlines. Yes, you do that, you put in that extra effort, you finish it, and then you go back. I think that is something that is very important. Do you guys agree with me? Type yes in the chat box. Yeah. Is my voice not clear? If you guys agree with me, please say yes. I think that is something that we really need to focus upon. That yes, you put in that extra effort, but that's a phase, that's a project. Yeah, you have to meet deadlines. Yes, there are challenges. We are from different fields, but then there are times when we need to relax. You do your job, right, and then you should know when to switch off, right? And that is a key where you have to really run the long race. You really have to run the marathon. You just cannot sprint fast every time, because that is going to burn you out. You're not going to reach the finish line, right? That is something that I would really ask you guys to think about, and really implement and try and implement how we can do that, right? Thank you, Pooja, Ekta, Siddhant, Hina, Pooja, Om. Great that you guys agree. Let's move to the next slide. Right. So in sports, like I said, we get injured, right? You are disciplined. You go out. You put in your efforts, everything, but then you also get injured, right? So what do? You need to have rest days. In marathon preparation, 16 weeks of preparation is required generally for a full marathon, right? But there are rest days, and rest days are equally important than your workout days, or even more. I would say. Like, so in my schedule, Sundays are usually when we run the long runs, because the marathon is on Sunday and we really have our long runs, 20, 25, 30, 35 kilometers. But Monday is the rest day. And that is non-negotiable, right? You have to let your muscles recover. And if you don't let your muscles recover, you are not going to perform to your optimum on the next day, the month or the rest of the week. Yeah. So in a corporate world, our rest day is Sunday or weekend, Saturday, Sunday, right? You really need to look at taking that break seriously. Yeah. Because if you don't recover from that office stress on a weekend, you will not optimally perform over the next week, right? How many of you agree with me? Do you really love your weekend break? Everybody does, right? Right? Please mention break in the chat, right? We really need that break. Please mention chat. Break in the chat. You guys agree with me? Thank you, Rubina, Chinmay, Bhushan. Yes, so I think I would urge you guys to take down those breaks very seriously. Spend time with your family. Don't really, yes, there are again situations change, and not everybody has what weekend, Saturday, Sundays breaks. We might have Fridays break or some other day break. But when you have that break, please take it and spend time with your family. I think that is very important, and a lot of people I know do not take that seriously. Yeah, like I said, it is more important in the running or training that we really take that break. No break in civil construction field, Siraj. What you need to find a way out. You need to find a way out, right? I think everybody needs a break. That how you can get that. I'm sure between two projects you can take a break. I mentioned sabbaticals, or role shifts or something that is you can look at. Obviously, I'm not very knowledgeable of the civil construction field or other fields, but I'm sure there are ways you can take a break, Siraj. कुछ तो ब्रेक तो मिलता होगा, कुछ तो प्रोजेक्ट के बीच में, दो प्रोजेक्ट के बीच में, वीकेंड्स पे, दो वीकेंड के बाद कुछ तो ब्रेक मिलता होगा. प्लीज प्लीज उसको बेस्ट यूटिलाइज करो, बिकॉज दैट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू रीसेट योर माइंडसेट. Yeah, learn to say no if somebody is really pushing you every day. Siraj, 2 weekends, पूरा इस्तेमाल करो. Just make the most of it. Yeah. Uh, the 2 weeks के बाद you really need a break, because yeah, after that you will feel energized. Yeah, really energized. Excellent. Yes, I'm not sure you not change the name Samsung, but yeah, let's call you Mr. Sam or Miss Samson. But yes, Saturday Sunday you got to do that, right? Learn to say no. यार तुम्हारा मैनेजर सुबह शाम पीछे पड़ेगा, ये भी करो वो भी करो ये भी करो. That is what communication and stakeholders dealing is all about, right? You are going to learn the long race. You are not here for just a small sprint. या 30-40 years आपको इस इंडस्ट्री में रहना है, किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में रहना है. यू जस्ट कैनॉट कीप टेकिंग थिंग्स. हाँ, ये भी करूंगा, मैं वो भी करूंगा, वो भी करूंगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू से लर्न टू से नो wherever, obviously, where is possible. कहाँ no बोलना है और कहाँ yes बोलना है, it is something that you need to figure out yourself. But you got to really say no, and what moment. When something critical comes up, company बहुत dependent है उसके ऊपर, you say no, then there's a problem. Yeah, so don't blame me. Yeah, but that is something that you really need to figure out. You will know, right? I mean, there are people who can do the job on your behalf. Somebody can really help you doing that. Ask for help. I think, yeah, I'm on leave, I've got something important. Can you help the peers? That is what peers and that is what teamwork is all about, isn't it? I think that is something you need to do. Vacations, very important. Siraj bhai, I mean, you really need to take vacations then, right? After 2 weekends, or after your one project in a civil construction field, after you complete one project, I'm sure you will get probably 3-4 days off, 1 week off. Just head off, take some vacation, take some mental rest. I think that is going to help you in the long run. अभी अभी नहीं पता चलेगा. Probably in the long run you will figure out that yes, those rest days really helped you to re-energize yourselves. Yeah. I hope you all of you guys are with me. I'm getting great response from chat. Thank you so much, guys. So let's move on and see what we can learn more and what we have seen so far. Can we move to the next slide? Satvik, you with me? Great. Thank you. So yes, who all can help you do that? I mean, aid stations. So when you run a marathon, you need 8 sessions, right? 42 kilometers, 42.2 kilometers, bhagte raho, bhagte raho, bhagte raho. You need a break. Sometimes you have water stations, right? Anybody who's run a marathon, who's followed a marathon on TV or any sport, for example, you have water stations on the way where you pause, you drink a sip of water, and then you start running. कोई भी ऐसा मतलब there is only the elites है ना, Eliud Kipchoge 42 kilometers 2 घंटे में भाग के खत्म कर देता है, right? He doesn't need too much water, but then he is pro, he is the best in the world, right? Amateurs like me, who take about 4 hours, 4.5 hours to complete a full marathon, really need those breaks, right? Where I take a sip of water, eat something, and then continue to work. So, who are your aid stations in your career, right? There are mentors, there are managers. Yeah. Then there's are platforms like these. All of us have joined MIT. क्या है MIT? MIT is our aid station, right? MIT, look at it, MIT and an aid station. Don't look at MIT as only a certificate on your resume. हाँ हाँ, हो गया, कंप्लीट हो गया, हमने सर्टिफिकेट मिल गया, रेज्यूमे में अच्छा दिखेगा. That's not what you look at, right? You look at what have you learned, how do you implement that in your day-to-day life, right? So that is something that you need to look at, right? Peer networks are very important. And how many of you really sent out messages? चलो अभी न्यू ईयर में है हम लोग, okay? So how many people did you send out न्यू ईयर wishes to? Friends and relatives छोड़ दो. Professional network में how many people did you send out New Year greetings to? Yeah, write a number, just random number. How many people did you send in your professional environment? Past managers, peers, कितना लोगों को भेजा है? स्पैम नहीं करना है. 250, wow, मोहित. But yeah, 100 odd easily, easily. Yeah, Jimmy, yeah, 4 बहुत कम है यार. I don't know how much your experience is, right? New Year wishes, family friends छोड़ दो. Family friends regular, तो हमेशा WhatsApp मैसेज आता था, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, वो सब नहीं. Proper messages, New Year messages, yeah. Stay relevant. Ex managers, ex colleagues, great. Not only in office. Okay, you should be looking at ex-managers, colleagues, whoever you worked with, mentors. Find your key people. And I'm telling you, this is not only for uh, doing for namesake. Yeah? It is building relationship. ये सिर्फ न्यू ईयर के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. इट्स नॉट समथिंग पीपल विल से, अरे ये सिर्फ साल में एक बार न्यू ईयर के लिए भेजता है, दिवाली के लिए भेजता है. दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट शुड बी. या, that's not how it should be. Mohit, yes, one broadcast list, but you have to be careful. हाँ? कोई सर्वर स्पैम करके ब्लॉक कर देगा तुमको. But you have to be careful. But it is more than sending these messages. Yeah, it is more about building that relationship. Yeah, किसी ने कुछ चैट पे डाल दिया, किसी ने लिंक्डइन पे डाल दिया, किसी ने फेसबुक इंस्टाग्राम पे डाल दिया, कमेंट ऑन इट. स्टे कनेक्टेड. It's not that stay continuously on social media, right? Obviously everything I'm saying has some positives and negatives, nothing in extreme works. Yeah, but I think having a peer network, having mentors, staying in touch with mentors, staying in touch with managers is very important. Those are their aid stations. They have their own problems. Everybody has their own problem, right? Not necessarily that they will respond back to you at that moment, but they will remember you. When they need someone, they will remember you, right? All my job switches, all my job switches over this last few years have been through references. Do you guys agree? It's very difficult to find jobs these days just basis on Naukri and other things, right? If you cannot really depend only on Naukri and things, right? Yes, job portals and others are help, definitely help you. But the key thing to find jobs to make the switches really have, really have been through references. Pranita, what have you have been questioned for sending too many messages, or you have a question for me? Please type in the chat. I think that is my personal experience, right? Like I said, all my job switches have been through references. Somebody remembered that, yes, I know Rohan. I think he fits well in this job. I think let's look at if we can hire him. Yeah. And 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Yeah. I'm in touch with my first boss 24 years ago. Yeah. And it's a friendly relationship. Right. Whenever I go to Bangalore, I call him up. I'm in Bangalore. What are you doing? Let's catch up. And you don't need to really talk about sir मुझे job दे दो sir मुझे क्या करना है ये करना है. Just talk about life in general, right? Or just talk about normal things in life, right? What are you up to? How's family? Everything. Just be in touch with people. I think that is more important. And it is a two-way street. How you approach is very very important. Yeah, Pranita, if your question is you have been questioned on why you were spending spam messages for New Year, I think you need to tweak it a little bit. You need to be more proactive, and you need to really change the way you approach to people. But keeping in touch, I think, is most important. Mohit, fair enough. Wherever you are on LinkedIn, on social media, and WhatsApp. That is more than enough. I think most of our managers and peers are on LinkedIn, right? But if they have done something, if they learn something new, you can obviously ask, right? You can comment, congratulate them, and keep in touch. Maybe just comment, and maybe on chat LinkedIn you can say, "Oh, great. How's life been lately?" I think that is something that we can definitely do. Yeah. So that is something that you really need to reflect yourselves and how it is, right? Great, Katie. Sorry, the no names, but I really like that comment, right? I mean, and that's the fact. That's the fact. We got to realize that. And obviously, Krishna Rivari, great. That's the fact. And I'm saying this from my experience, that is how you really grow as well in careers, right? And that those your aid stations, don't look them as यार सिर्फ फायदा लेना नहीं है. It's about building that connection, and they will not hire you, Krishna, for example, because you send them messages every day. They know you as an individual. They will remember you. हाँ यार ये कृष्णा सही था. They was the right guy. They are not fools to hire anyone or everyone they know. Because they might just know 10 people, but why do they approach you? Yeah, because they know that you are good. Yeah, you because they know that you do perform well in in what you did when you work with them together. Pranita, so if you are working in a college administration, what should you do in career advancement? Or should I stay in the same college, or should change colleges every 4 to 5 years? Well, Pranita, I think you need to ask that to the experts in the college administration. I'm sure you work with and you worked with a lot of other people in that field, right? Who are your mentors? Exactly the question that you should ask your mentors, right? In the look, I'm in the IT industry. I don't know how colleges work, but somebody who's worked in that colleges, or who's worked in the industry, who's got more experience within that, your field of work, like civil industry. Our friend is in civil. You are in college administration. Speak, get mentors, find, identify who your mentors are, right? And ask these questions to them, right? It's not only about it's about having communication, understanding what's next for you, what should I do, how I can grow as an individual, how I can grow in yeah. So 5 years experience, you're starting off. You're just starting off. You've got a long career ahead of you. So why don't you find some mentors within the college administration? To find out mentors in MIT, I'm sure there are a lot of MIT itself is a college, so so I'm sure you will find a lot of administration guys who can help you with that, right? In your previous experience in your colleges, your higher ups. The point here is you got to identify your mentors, and you need to keep them close. Yeah, you need to remind them about that you are there, you are available. Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. I think we talk more about this, but this is very important. If you're looking at elongating the career, making switches, is something that you really need to keep your mentors and your aid stations from a marathon perspective. You really need to keep them close. Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. So, what are the things that we talked about really? I mean, how do you really enhance your career? You are 5 years experience, 10 years experience, guys. What are the things that you will help you long in your career, right? And that is something that we talked about is depth, yeah, skills. The skills that you really look at. One skill, depth. Was you are a Unix guy, you are a Windows guy, you are an Exchange guy, full depth of knowledge. Does that mean you don't need to have another knowledge? No, you should have another. From a cloud perspective, if somebody's in the cloud, most of them, I don't know, IT industry, Azure hai, AWS hai, Google hai. It is good to have everything, knowledge of everything, right? But you need to go deep in one, at least, yeah. Azure, go deep, yeah, and then compare. Okay? Azure का comparison में Amazon में क्या है? Cloud में क्या है? Same. Basically the same services that are being offered by different clouds, right? What is Azure का है instances है तो Amazon में क्या है? AWS में क्या है? GCP में क्या है? That is something that you need to be aware of. But depth, definitely yes. Yeah. Mindset, you need to really look at long term. What is it that you really need to look at? Yeah. Health, we talked about, physical, mental health, definitely. We take the questions file, we take the questions in some time. Yeah. I don't sure that I will have answers to everything because probably we're from different fields, but somebody in the team might have that really have might have your answers, right? And they can help you. But let's come to the slides first, and let's then move to the question answers thing, right? So health, physical, mental, we talked about it, right? Physical, like I pursue running as a passion, and I would really urge all of you to pursue some passion. अब ऐसा नहीं कि सुबह 4 किलोमीटर चल के आया बस इतना नहीं. There is some more to it, right? Get in some sports, get in yoga, whatever you like, whatever you're passionate about, right? And that is going to help. Mental is something that we talked about is you need to take a break. Yeah, you really need to take a break when required, and that is going to help you in the long run. Every weekend break, just reset, relax. Your next week is going to be rocky. Yeah. And relationships we talked about is very important. Mentors, teams, networks. There are social media is there. You're all over the place. People are there everywhere. Yeah, right. And approachable. Right. When is the right time to talk to you? Right? Just when is the last time when you picked up your phone and called your college friend? Right? He could be in different field. But क्या कर रहे हो यार? What are you doing? What are things that you do? How are you saving? What are the new instruments that you're looking at? Where did you go for your last vacation? Like, just connect, stay connected. It is in today's world, it is very difficult to be, people are in silos. I mean, mobile पे चलता रहता है कुछ ना कुछ, right? But let's make it positive, right? Let's make it a positive use of staying connected with people, talk to people, go out, meet. I think that is these days very important, right? People really don't meet a lot of people, right? Earlier, I'm sure there were connects, and you used to meet your college friends, and you used to college building friends and all that. You stand under the building and talk for 10 minutes. Nothing. That is all gone. But I think we need to start it again. When this January, one of my friends from Australia called, and he was sitting. His daughter was swimming in the pool, and I said, "Yeah, how did you कैसे याद आया कैसे याद आई?" बोला यार, this year I'm going to call all my friends. Yeah, just talk. What's happening? How's life? How's everybody in family? Just talk. They're professionals. Yeah? And that is how you stay connected. How do you stay connected? That is something that you should look at, right? Stay connected with people. It is very important these days, just from a mental health as well point of view, right? Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so the skills that actually last, tools, frameworks, versions keep changing. बहुत चलते रहता है. Technology will move on. नया आज AI है, कुछ और आ जाएगा, कल BI आ जाएगा. I don't know. But what is your long-term skill, your problem solving, your communication, your ownership that you take? ये problem है, I am going to solve it. Learning agility, how fast you can, right? Yes, you have to learn technology. There is no escape. How will you work in an organization? How will people hire you if you don't have a technology? Yes, you need to work technology. क्या है? What's new in AI? How I can help it in the organization, right? How can I contribute to fix a problem? I heard some. Uh, I think you all heard of Ranveer Allahabadi or someone, right? Beer biceps. Have you heard of him? Yes or no? Type yes. Ranveer Allahabadi. Oh, yes, in YouTube, I think he's a YouTuber, right? Beer biceps. Yeah. Just yesterday, one of my friends recommended me to listen to one of his podcast, with Shravan, I think. Yeah, Shravan. It was about money, how do you save money, how do you earn more money, and all that. The one thing that they talked about is how do you solve problem, ways of earning more money. I think I would recommend you to go ahead and listen to that podcast. Yeah, one of the things Shravan talked about is earning more money is how do you solve problems in your organizations. The more you solve problems in the organization, the faster your growth is. Yeah, in the organization, your agility, how quickly you look at problems, how you own those problems, and how you solve them is going to help you in your career. I think that was a great point that he made, and that is something that we should all learn from, right? Obviously, that podcast is more about money and saving and how what are the things that we need to do. But obviously, this discussion is not about that. But I would recommend you to go ahead and listen to that in terms of how you solve problems, and that is going to help you, whichever field you are. Yeah, whichever field you are, you really need to look at how you're solving problems. How you do that? Tools, technology, frameworks, ITIL, PMP, Prince2, PGDM, कुछ भी, these are tools. Yeah, these are tools which are going to help you solve problems, and that is something that you really need to look at. Yeah. So sorry, Payal, I didn't get your question. In that case, how to think for long term? Yeah. Think for long term in what sense? And these are things that you really need to again talk to mentors, figure out yourselves. Use ChatGPT. What are your long term goals? What are your small term goals? But these are your skills. These are skills that will stay with you for a long time. Technologies come and go, right? Like I said, Windows 2000, Exchange 2000 पे काम करने वाले थे, राइट, करते थे. फ्लॉपी डिस्क पे काम करते थे. अभी तो सीडी ड्राइव्स भी गायब है, राइट. स्टार्ट ऑफ फ्लॉपी ड्राइव्स, डॉट मैट्रिक्स प्रिंटर्स, ये सब पे काम किया है 24 years ago. नाउ वेयर आर दे? Now technologies change, but then communication, right? Communication it stays, right? Communication has only improved. You have to work on your communication. You have to work on your problem solving skills. You have to learn to take ownership, right? How fast you adopt to technology. अभी भी हम फ्लॉपी ड्राइव पे काम तो नहीं करते ना. वी हैव नॉट स्टक देयर, नो, वी हैव मूव्ड अहेड इन लाइफ, right? And that is going to be, that is your long term thing, and that is what you need to focus for a long career, so that's the marathon career. It is not a sprint. ये लंबा है. This is a long race, right? Let's move on to the next slide. I think yes. I think that's something that I will leave you guys with a quote, right? Careers are not won by the fastest starters, but by those who stay in the race. How do you stay in the race is more important. Stay in the race is, again, just reiterating myself, is adaptability. How fast you adapt. We adapt to technology. Everybody has to talk about the AI these days. I'm sure no matter which field you're in college, you're in IT, or definitely there, but no, there is no meeting which ends without the word of AI, right? But that is something that you need to really balance, technology, skilling, burnout. You have to look at burnout. You have to balance your ambition with health. You don't have to compare yourselves with anyone. These are things that you really need to keep in the back of your mind and keep working on it consciously, so that you really have a longer career. You sustain over a period of time, 30, 40 years. Yeah. You started off with, as what, 20? I started off working at 21. Yeah. And I've got another 10, 15 years ahead of me. Right? How do I stay relevant? No, I'm going to have a long career. I will probably have 34 years, 35 years of career, right? And all of this, what I've been talking about, is something is applicable to me as well, right? I have to stay relevant. I have to look at problems, no matter how high I go in the organization, but I've got to, somebody's going to pay me to solve problems. Yeah. To be communicative, to update the stakeholders. Yeah, that is very important. Communication. How do you communicate to internal stakeholders, external stakeholders? That is something that we really need to look at. Yeah, I think I am at the end of my session. What's the next slide to recollect? I would just really like to thank, MIT. Yeah, let's move to the next slide. I really need to thank, MIT for this opportunity. When Charuj called me up for this opportunity, I was, this came out of the blue, but it's a great opportunity, right? And some these are opportunities that you need to really pick up. Yeah, these when MIT हो, तुम्हारे organization में हो, कहीं पे भी हो, when you have got opportunities to really speak, to prepare, get out of your comfort zone. Right? This is not my comfort zone. This is not what I do. I am not a professional professor, as to say, right? But that these are opportunities that you pick up, right? And I'm grateful to MIT that I got this opportunity. I picked it up, and I'm great. Really happy that I could have this conversation with you guys. Okay, and you can obviously reach out to me on LinkedIn, and let's stay connected. Yeah, and I think we can open up for question answers. Let's try and answer some of your questions. And like I said, how let's try and answer that. Yeah,
Yes.
Shivam. Sorry, Trupti, you want to take over? Some.
Yes, I will. I will just say a few words before we take the question and answers. I can see a lot of questions in the chat box already, a lot of reviews as well. So before we do that, first of all, definitely, Rohan, staying relevant is something we all fear at the back of our mind, and we totally work hard in order to stay relevant throughout our careers, as you said, 30 to 40 years, right? So
Yeah,
thank you, Rohan. That was an incredibly valuable session for all the working professionals, your classmates here. In our pursuit of keeping up with the competition, I think we all tend to be really hard on ourselves all the time, right?
yeah,
Forgetting to pause at
yeah,
all. And this really was a reminder. This session was really a reminder to all of us
sure.
to do what really matters to you. Finding the why
Yeah,
behind what you are doing, and most importantly, while doing all this, we must pause as well, right? We'll
yes,
now open the floor for questions from
sure.
the audience. Yes, students, you can also unmute yourselves. You can raise your hand, and we'll allow you to unmute
I
for the
think the
question.
couple
Yeah.
of questions that I see is how to improve communication skills.
Hmm.
I don't know where to start. Um, Again, I'm not an expert. Trupti, you can help me answer those questions as well. Yeah. So from my experience, uh, just some YouTube. You don't have to pay anything these days to learn, right? You have got too many courses on Udemy. You got too many courses on YouTube. You've got LinkedIn Learning is something that you can use. How many of you guys use LinkedIn Learning? There is if you are a premier member of LinkedIn, you have got LinkedIn Learning. So you can use those parts, and there are a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot on Udemy. Like I said, that is something that you really can use.
Sure. Shivam, further adding to what maybe Rohan said, communication skills definitely. I'll just say quick two things because the session is about Rohan interacting with you. Just 2 seconds I'll take of you, 2 minutes I'll take of you. So communication skills, first of all, read a lot. Second, record yourself speaking. And third, take public speaking opportunities wherever, whenever, like if, even if you're standing in front of four people and talking, practice is what I want to mention over here. Practice reading and obviously he mentioned watching YouTube videos. A lot of people have shared a lot of things on improving communication. Obviously, you can check that. That is how you can improve your communication. So practicing is one way that have to do it. Plus, there are few courses in a few sessions in MOCS as well. You can attend those. Moving on, over to you, Rohan. Maybe we can take the next question.
Yeah, LinkedIn name, I guess you can find me on LinkedIn. I think this session will be shared again. So Rohan
Yes.
Deshmukh, you can find on LinkedIn. Mohit, great point. Communication is to take feedback. Communication is not only the language. Yes, communication is your overall personality, how you present, how you know if you are in front of an audience, even on on video calls. A lot of us are on Teams these days in office. How you communicate, cameras on, paying attention. I think this is very important these days in corporate life. These days I've been attending a few interviews and people don't put on cameras, and that is really put off for me. I mean, come on, you are taking an interview or you are giving an interview. You need to put your cameras on.
That is a way of communication, surely.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Non-verbal, correct.
Any more questions?
Yes, till the time we have more questions from you. And students, you can also raise your hands, right? You can also, we'll allow you to unmute as well so that you can, uh, bring in your perspective as well to the session by unmuting. Till the time, we'll quickly launch a poll question for you to share your feedbacks. Can we have the poll question, please? Yes, Chinmay, I can see you. Yes,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
good afternoon and Happy New Year for everyone. So the question is like, see, I was a people manager in one of the FMCG sector,
Mhm.
yeah, the thing is that I am really interested into becoming a project manager, but I lack a lot of technical skills. So how I can learn the things because I was attending few of the interviews as a scrum master and project manager.
Mhm.
uh, I cleared like one or two rounds when it is like scenario based questions and technical questions. So that is where I get rejected. So how can I develop because 95% of the project manager recruitments are into IT sector. So
You're right.
so that is my question.
Yeah, sure. So you definitely look at certifications first. I mean, if you are trying to move, are you trying to move from FMCG to IT, or you want to grow within FMCG itself?
Uh, no, no. I am trying to move out from FMCG and
Okay, okay. So definitely you need to look at certifications. I'm sure you might have probably also already completed some certifications, right? For project management, there is PMP and there is Prince 2. Have you looked at those certifications?
no, PMP, because the concepts of PMP are not clear. So that is the reason I enrolled for this particular course.
No.
Maybe, yeah, after completing this course, then I will go for PMP. But yeah, I last year I have completed CSM, but exam was very easy. But real life interviews are a little bit not little bit. It is too tough for me to clear.
I mean, look, you cannot bluff and get real life experience, right? The only thing that you can do is have certifications and somehow convince them that you have the skills required to do the job, right? You cannot make up what you don't have. If somebody,
Or else I have to downgrade myself for project associates or like I have to be I can say that I want to lead a project without having project management experience or something.
No, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. The people need project managers. Yeah, there are a lot of people who need project managers. So you can also look at within FMCG also. I mean, different orgs who might require your skills, but definitely certifications. If you don't have the experience, certificates will definitely help you. And choose your certificates wisely because these are not cheap certificates, right? These are expensive. You will spend some time and money both getting those certificates. But definitely on your resume, if you don't have the experience, certificates will give you a starting point. And interviews are more about convincing people, and you will get that confidence only when you learned the skill, right? Just
Yeah.
convince them that you have the skill to do well in the job. Experience you cannot get outside. And if you don't have, yes, you don't have, but there will be someone, I'm sure, who will value your skill, communication skills and other skills and your certificate more than your experience. And as probably you got to convince them based on your experience, whatever experience you have, on top of that certifications, on top of that other skills, and your willingness to learn. So you got to convince them. Interviews are cruel these days, but you got to convince them.
Okay. After doing this project management, can I try for open domain like instead of IT?
Mhm.
Uh, because uh, the in like I can crack the interviews in non-IT sector, but IT sector because of tech stack it is being difficult for me.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. So
Like, can I try after this project management? Can I try for open domain, like general domain instead of IT domain?
yeah, project management is everywhere. No, every field. I mean, any project is a project, right? I sometimes think I should be in film industry also. It's a filmmaking is a project, no? Look,
Oh,
there are so many things are involved in that. I sometimes think I should try doing that also. But yeah, it is. I'm just joking. But project managers are required everywhere. So FMCG, great. I mean, you are not in a bad place. FMCG is growing, booming. Find roles within FMCG. Find roles outside IT. Don't focus on IT. Project management is everywhere, used everywhere, right?
yeah. Thank you
I,
very
I
much.
hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Certainly, definitely.
Anyone has any other thoughts about that? Please do mention also, right? I mean, uh, it's just my experience that I'm sharing. Any other questions?
Sir, good afternoon. First of all, thanks a lot for providing the insight session from your side.
Thank you. Thank you for attending.
Uh, I I just have a question regarding that. I am till now I was working in government sector, and
Mhm.
after 1 year, probably I am thinking of switching over to corporate sector. That is why I joined PGDM executive from MIT. And my question is same the person which are earlier talking about PMI. Should I go for PMI before going to corporate, or the experience of the government sector which I have been through, and the PGM I'm doing for from MIT is sufficient to it to suffice?
Yeah, so by means of corporate, what do you mean? Are you looking at IT specifically or what else? I mean, it also depends on your educational background, where you are, what your skills are, basically, what your education is into is something that you need to look at. And certifications is something I would definitely recommend, but no random certification. Like we talked in the session also, right? No random. So just because everybody is doing it, don't do it. Figure out, use ChatGPT. Definitely, ChatGPT is a friend these days. No, you have to use ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever you want to use. Ask those questions. Give enough prompts. understand your pros and cons. What are the certifications that will help you get into a particular field? You have to narrow it down to a particular field that you want to get into, right? IT or corporate. I don't know which corporate you want to get into from a government job. I think these days, ChatGPT is definitely a friend. Do your research, find out what certifications are going to help you, and then take that approach. Just randomly don't take that approach, is what I would really suggest you. I hope that answers your question. Again, depends a lot on what education you had, which is the stream that you did. Obviously, you have some educational background to work on, right? If those are the skills, statistics. I'm a statistics student. Now, how if I want to get into corporate or some other, if I want to switch from IT, I would look at chalo mera education background plus my experience. What is the best field next, right? That is something that you can do. I hope that helps. I'm not sure.
Yes, thank you for
Prachi is.
answering that. Yes, Prachi has
Mm,
raised her hand. Prachi, please go ahead.
yeah, hi. Hi, Tripti. Hi, Rohan. So, I like to consider myself a fresher yet because I'm only working my first job and it's been 8 months or so.
Mhm.
But I'm working as a project coordinator at NIIT.
Okay.
And as part of my career growth, I would like to grow ahead in project management.
Mhm.
So when that previous question came about the skills that are required when it comes to interview rounds and all those
Yes.
technical stuff, like I'm not from tech background. I have done BBA,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what kind of skills I should work on to make it into IT.
Yes. So NIT, you already what kind of project management do you do, right?
So currently I'm working on project delivery.
Okay.
So it's not a high level job, it's project coordination. So it's an entry level job.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's
Yeah.
it's important to, take that experience, what you're doing,
Hmm.
spend some more time, find out within an IT what's the next level, right?
Hmm.
How can you grow in your current organization, right? What is the next job? Chalo, you are a project coordinator, right? There must be someone who's leading you. There is in your team, there are senior guys
Right.
who are doing that, right? So find mentors, find out from them how do I grow in the current org, right? What should I do to grow in the
Hmm.
current organization? What should I do to know what certifications that you need to look at? So these are things that you need to keep asking, inquiring. Two things you will get. Either they will say yes or no. They will not help you, or they will help you,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Actually,
so.
my current organization is not that helpful. The reason being it's not a package-based job or like a placement, you'd say. It's a contractual project-based kind of a thing.
Sure.
So my manager won't let me be permanent, right? Because they want me as someone to assist.
Sure, but
And it's a great opportunity for now, but I
hmm.
definitely want to pursue something else in future, right?
Yes, definitely. You should. I mean, everybody needs to think about the growth, right? But
Yeah.
if ask questions, yeah, really like the
Hmm.
way you've asked here, you got to ask your manager is like within the org, name, but as a friend, no, somebody who's more
Yeah.
senior in the organization. चलो बताओ क्या what should I do? What are the next steps?
Hmm.
What are the new roles that I can look at? These are things that you should really ask within your organization. Also do some research online. Obviously, there are the project management thing is vast, right? And you
Right.
are very new to the career, right? So these are experiences that will help you. Project coordinator, then you will not suddenly become a project manager, right? Because there's a long way. The project manager requires certain bit of an experience, right? 4 years, 5 years, 6 years
Exactly.
experience, right? So at the moment, it is more from learning point of view. Look at learning. Look at gathering as much information as you can at the moment, and how you can improve your skills. Stakeholder management, communication, working with peers. You're only 8 months. in your career. So you really need to look at the soft skills that we talked about, right? That is something that you need
Right.
to really look at and improving. Ask questions to people how you can contribute more. भले NIT में नहीं हूँ, but those
Mm-hmm.
experiences will count when you move out in NIT. You're not going to stay there forever, right? You know that
Right.
they know them as they
Yeah.
know that as well, right?
Exactly.
But those are experience, those questions, those answers, where you want to head. That is a career path. What is a career path? As a you are
Mm-hmm.
currently as a project coordinator. Again, I would say, make ChatGPT your best friend. If not already. बोलो,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
at this point, every day it is that. What do I
yes.
do next? Should I pursue this? Should I pursue that?
Yeah, and you have to align yourselves, and you prompting is
Right.
very important, right? Align yourself. कुछ भी डालोगे कुछ भी आ जाएगा. No, it's a
Huh.
vast thing. You align yourselves to, okay, and it needs to make sense to you. Okay, this makes sense. This is what my seniors are doing, right? Who's your
Mm-hmm.
immediate boss? What are the skills that he's got? What is his education background? What are the skills that he's learned? Where
Mm-hmm.
he's learned from? अभी अभी तो शुरुआत है. I mean, there's a whole world waiting for you to explore. Just be patient and take some time to gather, and soft skills is definitely, you will definitely need to work on improving. You could be the best communicator, but you need to convince the stakeholders. That is something that you really need to focus on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Rohan.
no problem. You're always welcome.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank you so
Trupti.
much, Prachi. Thank you so much for your question. And that this is what Synergy Sphere is, interaction between working professionals of different level of experiences, right? So thank you so much for your question, Prachi. I hope you have gotten great insight. Tushar wants to ask a question. We can unmute.
Hello.
Hi, Tushar.
Yeah, hi Rohan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So basically, I have two questions. I initially started my career in 2020 after completing my graduation. So initial 3 year was into business development, which helped me to grow myself in terms of communication and all. And then 2 year I work in the operational side that I mainly took care financial requirements for the edtech companies.
Okay.
And now I'm planning to get into project side. So when I was searching what I need to do, so I get to know about CAPM, which is Certified Associate Project Management. But also, whenever I try to connect with PMP training partners, they said you already have 4 and 5 years of experience with you. So why you are going for CAPM? Why not going for PMP? But
Right.
always I am thinking, why not first go in a structured way? So whether I will go for PMP or CAPM first, you can help me because I believe you are the right person to ask this question.
Uh, I'm not sure about the other one, but PMP will definitely help you. Right? 4 5 years, 7 years is a good time to get the PMP thing done. Right? Really depends on what you want to do on a long term thing. If you really want to get into project management, it is a great learning. The certification has great value. Uh,
Mhm,
and these are certifications, like unlike others, PMP has still some respect in the industry, right? So
mhm,
that is something that you can definitely look at. Yeah. But you make your choices very wisely. Again, like I said, PMP is not a cheap certification.
correct.
You can do both. So why not? But you really need to make some wise decision in terms of where you want to spend your time and money right now. Okay. And whether you will be able to complete that PMP and give it full justice, right? Uh,
Mhm,
because people start off PMP and then you have to immediately give exam. From my experience, uh, you if you complete your PMP course and you think you will do PMP exam after 1 year, it is not going to happen. Uh,
right.
that is definitely not going to happen. So if you have the time, why not? You can focus on PMP.
It's more about the mindset that how we will grow our mindset.
Absolutely, absolutely. What you want to do, how you want to grow, whether your next role, whether your next job values that, what is the requirement, immediate requirement. That is something that you definitely look at before taking a job.
Okay, okay. Thank you for this session, Rohan.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Tushar, for your question. Again, we have Praveen, and we'll take this last question before we conclude the session. Yes, Praveen, you can please unmute. Are you able to unmute, Praveen?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon.
Very
Hi,
good
good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Please go ahead.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Sir, I have 20 years experience.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 10 years in manufacturing and operations and 10 years in SAP MM fields.
10 years in
So,
manufacturing, 10 years in, sorry.
10 years in manufacturing and operations
Yeah.
and last 10 years in SAP MM field.
SCMM. Sorry, what that?
SAP MM. SAP MM.
Okay.
So, is the project management will help me in IT field?
Yeah, I mean, again, project manager, IT field is huge, right? I mean, you could be a service delivery manager, you could be an IT project manager, you could be a team manager. Uh, Really, there is a whole lot of things that you need to do, right? But if you're switching at this stage from 20 years of experience, see, project management and other things are definitely going to help. Certifications are definitely something that will really help you. But what you're not going to blindly switch into IT, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to get into service delivery? Do you want to get into project management? Is something that you need to find out. I think these questions you need to ask yourselves first in terms of after 20 years of experience, what are you going to do? Which field? Which is there any specific role that you are targeting right now? I mean, let me ask you.
No, now I am working as a assistant manager in IT in SAP MM in manufacturing company.
Okay.
So after that I can switch in IT now.
You're already in IT, no?
Yes,
IT,
yes. I am already in IT, but in manufacturing company.
that's okay. That's okay. You're
Okay.
already in IT, right?
Yes,
So,
right.
so I think you need to look at, you don't need to get into big IT corporates here. I mean, there is more opportunities in manufacturing, other companies, in IT itself, right? There are a lot of people who they require. You don't need to get into IT. Obviously, great if you get into an IT organization and all that. But there are so many GCCs that are coming up. There are so many organizations that need IT managers who needs help. I think growth is also great in these organizations, right? So I think if you're working as an assistant IT manager, you need to look at how you can grow within your organization within using that manufacturing experience. So many manufacturing companies these days, obviously big ones, how what are the other opportunities and what are the other things that other IT managers in other manufacturing organizations are doing is something that you need to look at, right? You've got a great experience of 20 years already in that manufacturing field, and what are the tools and what are the softwares and applications that are being used in that application. So I think you need to work on your strengths also somehow, instead of just blindly switching, is my recommendation. You know, and if you are targeting something, be clear about what role you want to switch into, right? Yes, we were in IT. You are already in IT, right? You are talking about getting into an IT field, into a IT organization is what you're talking about, right? But within your manufacturing and this great 20 years of experience, how you can maximize that. Those are your strengths, right? How can you maximize that and get into other organizations, your competitors, other competition companies? What are the roles that they are doing it? I think you explore that as well and this as well, and then you think you can take a call.
What is the GCC? Yeah.
Global contact centers, a lot of GCCs coming in India. Again, not specifically customer centers, so customer like Nutanix and others. There are a lot of organizations who are having their back offices in India, basically in Pune. There are too many of them coming up. So Do some bit of a reading around that.
Okay. And can I move in corporate sector?
In what sense? I mean, corporate. How do you define corporate sector?
No, manufacturing company, IT, in IT section, corporate.
I'm not sure if I get your question right. I mean, Trupti will not help me, but I don't really understand when you say corporate sector. You're already in corporate job, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
We can connect offline. No worries on that.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much,
Thank
Praveen, for
you.
the question. You
Okay.
can
Thank you.
connect with us separately as well if you want to get the question answered, right? Corporate is a wide field, right? It has a lot of domains, so maybe we'll be able to better find out what you're trying to ask in a separate call. So yes, with that said, thank you so much, for being a wonderful, wonderful audience, everyone, and thank you for the interaction as well. And before we close, it gives me great pleasure to formally recognize Rohan's contribution to SynergySphere. Rohan, thank you so much for sharing not just your, I would say, success stories, but the real challenges, the lessons, and how marathon, helps you, has helped you stay ahead in your career, and all the reflections in your journey, right? And this certificate that we are going to present today is a small token of appreciation for your time, for your effort, and willingness to give back to this vibrant learner community at MIT SDE. And as we wrap up today's session, I'd like everyone to remember this one thing, this little one thing, that SynergySphere is about the progress that you're making, sharing, and learning together, right? And today's speaker was obviously a fellow student, your fellow classmate. Tomorrow it could be any one of you. Please do fill the form if you are interested to be the speaker in the next session. Having said that, thank you so much, Rohan, for the
You.
wonderful session, wonderful interaction,
Sure.
and yes.
Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all my fellow learners. It was a great audience as well, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to connect. And again, thank you so much for spending your valuable time from the weekend on this session. It was a great learning experience.
Yes, thank you so much, Rohan.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you so much, participants as well. As you mentioned, it was a great. You have been a great audience, interacting and sharing your own experiences, your questions, right? So thank you all for being such an engaged audience today. Please stay connected and keep learning and continue sharing. Yes, have a wonderful weekend ahead. Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend ahead. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.